America as a superpower sometimes acted unwisely in places like Vietnam and Iraq and Afghanistan. But even in those cases, it saw its involvement as the protection of freedom and democracy. Not anymore. The strangest aspect of the last few weeks of American diplomacy that culminated in the disaster at the White House on Friday is that the President of the United States has seemed utterly unwilling to say plainly that he supports the victim of aggression against the aggressor and that he admires Ukrainian democracy more than Russian dictatorship. Instead, he and Vice President Vance spent Friday's photo op at the White House publicly scolding Ukraine's President Zelensky, telling him to say thank you, which he has said repeatedly, and accusing him of being disrespectful. Friday's turn of events took place after weeks of diplomacy in which the Trump administration has bullied its neighbors, asked Canada to cease to exist as a country, pressured Denmark to sell Greenland, and Panama to hand over the Panama Canal. It has threatened to impose higher tariffs on its allies than its foes, and it has shuttered almost all the food and medicine programs that it promised to the poorest people in the world. The conservative former British cabinet minister Rory Stewart asked in sorrow, was it for this that the US spent 80 years building power and alliances? Not to be a force for good, but instead to impoverish neighbors, threaten those it protected, rob minerals from war-torn countries, and break its promises to hundreds of millions of the poorest in the world?